Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a long time and I was out for a bit, had to do some work, and finally I have some free time that I can get back to making videos because this is really my passion, to teach coding to other people. So whenever I get the chance, I get to come back here and make new videos, which is awesome. So the last time I was here, we were working on the plugin PHP. That's what we called our plugin based framework. And I was a little disoriented for a bit there because I wasn't really sure where we ended. So I had to rewatch some of the videos to get up to speed with what we were doing. And also what happened was I lost my other PC, so all the information from the other PC is gone, except I still do have the files for this particular project because I could just easily download them from the project itself. Okay, so I want us to continue from where we left off. We're dealing with pages, but unfortunately, since this is a new PC, it means the database is not there anymore. So I installed XAMPP again. And this is the message I get when I try to navigate to localhost PHP plugin PHP rather. So it says unknown database plugin DB over here. So this is a chance for us to see how things would work if we started from scratch. And it's just saying there is no database named this. So we want to create this database. You can imagine if your framework is complete and you're about to start a new project, these are the steps you probably have to take. So we go to localhost PHP myadmin, because this is where all the databases are, and we just want to create a database here with that name. So I'm just going to go to the SQL tab and do a create. I'm going to say create database. Now, of course, we will create a plugin that manages all this if you want it to happen that way. So we'll say create database. Let's put that name there. So it's as simple as that to create a database. So if I click go, and that happens. So we have our DB over here. So if I click on it, it has no tables, but the tables are supposed to be added by the migration files. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to load up my plugin PHP folder here in our project. This is Sublime Text, of course. That's what we've been using all along. So what I want to do is right click on the folder and click open folder. That way we go to the folder itself, and then right in there, if you're using Windows, that is, you can just type CMD to go directly to the command line while it has navigate to this particular folder. So as you can see here, it has navigated to this folder, which is awesome. Now we can start just running things using our command line tool. So here I'm going to say PHP Thunder, the name of our command line tool, and of course we want to migrate. But if you remember in a previous tutorial we created, normally you would here you would put the folder that you want to migrate in a case where you have plugins. So we have a list of plugins here in the plugins folder, but instead of migrating them one by one, we did create a command that will migrate all of them at once, which is all. So instead of naming one folder at a time, you just put the word all like this, and it will migrate every single folder and every file in those migration folders. So once I press that, everything is migrated. Unless you have some errors, you would need to go in and fix those. But apparently, we have none of that. So, since we have this and we have a database and some tables, things are supposed to run smoothly. So if I now refresh, there we go. Things are running as intended. Right. So this is great. We can also go to the let's click the logout just to be sure we log in with the right credentials here, because you could be working on a different project. So the password is password here, and there we go. So if I go to the admin section, this is what we have. slider images, we can add images on the slider because right now it's kind of empty. So let's try that just to make sure that things are working as intended. If I click on the image itself, it asks me to load. So if I go to the desktop and images over here, not really sure where I want to go with this. People, let's try any of these images, something like this. Let me hit save for the first image. Record added successfully. That looks to have worked. If I go to the website, it does show that image over here without any text, of course, but we can always just go back here and edit whatever we want. I think this image is a little too blurry, so let me look for a higher res image here. Can't really get what I'm looking for. Maybe this one. That looks much better. So let's put a caption. We're just gonna say a caption and save. Great. So going back to the home page, we will see that nice image over here. So things are working as they should. What we were working on was pages, and since we've created a new database with new tables, there's hardly any pages here, which is expected. So let's add a new page. I want to see the extent of the work we did here, where it works and where it doesn't. So let's add one page. Let's try with about us, like that, and the slug will be about us, like that. We could add a description for SEO. That's the description that will go in the description meta tag, so description, and some keywords as well for the keywords, comma, meta tags, like this. And then the actual page content here. At this point, this is where we use some lorem ipsum here. So let me go lorem ipsum. Where are we here? Okay, there we go. So let's do a copy of this, just some of this text over here. Back, and let's paste. Maybe let's do a few carriage returns here so that we see that that works as well. We don't have any categories, it seems, so we'll leave that be. Let me hit the save button. Record added successfully. So we do have one record here, which is awesome. Doesn't show me the author, which is not good. No categories here either. Let's do a view. Okay, so there we go. At least we have some errors, and those are things to work with now. We know the view does not work. The edit doesn't seem to work either, and it belongs to the wrong. Okay, so I'm sure we ended on just adding here because none of the others seems to be working as intended. All right, but the view itself about us is working as intended. But you see the carriage return is not being respected because this is supposed to go to another line. So let's make sure that is respected as well, because we know we added it there. So what I'm going to do is go back to my project. Let's go to plugins, and again, let's go to basic pages, and let's go to views. Things are well organized here because I haven't seen this code in a while, but it makes sense how things are organized, so that's good. We're dealing with the front end this time, so I'm going to go to the view, and this is where the content is echoed. So what we need to do is add a function. Now sometimes I get confused which function should come first, either the escape or the other function I want to add, but let's just add one of them and see. If it doesn't work, we just swap the order. There's a function called NL, which stands for new line 2 with an actual number 2 BR, like that. So this is short for new line to break tag. So it converts a new line to a break tag which HTML understands. So let's close that. So what we're doing here is just adding a break tag wherever there's a new line and then escaping that afterward. So let's see how well that does. So it doesn't do very well because now you see a few break tags here interpreted directly, but that's not what we want. So what I'm going to do is grab that part and put it outside. So we want to escape first and then do the conversion to a break tag. That should do the trick. Okay, that seems to have worked somewhat. I don't know why there's not enough gap here, but I thought there were like 3 break tags here. Let me inspect this for a second. Yeah, there's like 3 break tags, but somehow it doesn't seem to have done much to separate these. Anyway, at least we know that actually works, but we need to edit it. Maybe we want to add more break tags. So let's make sure the editing part is working as well. So adding works. How about edit? It doesn't seem to work. Let's see the add menu. Okay, so the add menu looks like this. That's great. We can just copy that to the edit version. So this time we're going to the, instead of the front end of the plugin, to the admin section. So the add works very well. So all we need to do is copy all of this code, Control A, copy, go to the edit page that we already conveniently created. Wait a second. I want to see if I already actually did a copy of this. This first name there, that doesn't seem legit at all. It's supposed to be title. So instead, I'm going to go to the edit, Control A, and paste to replace everything. So let me save. Oh, but wait a minute. You see, the edit usually contains this part that says that record was not found. This part is not there on the add because when adding, we don't expect to be editing an existing record. So I don't want to have the hassle of retyping this. So what I want to do is just replace the internals of this part here up to there without having to edit that either. So the form itself and any JavaScript. So let me go to the add section. I'm going to grab the form here, copy everything until the script tags as well. Okay, that's quite a bit of JavaScript there. Up to there, the end of the script tag, and do a copy. Go to edit. Let me select these guys from here. Boom. And up to end script tag and paste like that. Alright. Let me just tab some of this stuff in one step and save. Very cool. So instead of new here, of course, we're going to say edit. And over here as well, oh, there's edit user, so that remains as it is. Cool. So let's get back and click the edit button. And there we have it. But we need the content in here that is from the existing record. So we already kind of know how to do that by just adding some extra info here. Where is this? Let me start with what I know. So get image. Here we only run this if raw is not empty. So we know raw contains some stuff. So I'm gonna put raw here, and I'm not even sure what the column name is. It should be image, because that's an image. Now we're going to do exactly the same thing. So I'm just going to copy this part here, and within title I'm going to put a comma and paste that and put title. Now since I'll be doing this a lot, I'm going to copy the comma as well up to the arrow like that. Let's go ahead and paste that on slug as well. And what else? Description. There we go. All right. Keywords, same thing. So I'm going to paste. Where is page content? There it is. Let's paste. Okay, so at this point you could check and see if things are actually working. If I refresh, we are doing some stuff here. That's great. Even here, things seem to be working. Cool. How about the categories though? We don't see anything here in the categories. We'll have to figure this out. So there are no categories. Maybe we should add those so that we take them into account. But for now, this is what's happening. Let me put some extra text here. Something like that, just so we can edit this and see what happens. Now, if we're editing here, it also means we have to fix the controllers so they can do their job. So if I go to controllers, there's the add controller and the edit controller. So of course the edit controller is dealing with some completely different stuff here. User can edit. Actually, most of this is the same up to some point here, but let's go to the add here. Okay, so add page, and this is all we get, right? Interesting. Now, these two things like date created, we do not edit that. We don't edit the slug either. So none of this is actually useful. And also this is just the insert. So we go back to edit. Oh, sorry. We click on edit controller. And let's try and fix things. So first of all, we're not dealing with any passwords. So let's delete this part. And instead of date updated, oh yeah, we do need to put date updated. So let's leave that. Let's remove the ID if it exists from there. That's great. The image could be a thing. Let's update. That's great. If not, empty the old image. Remove the old image. That's great. User ID is equal to the ID. Save user rows. So we don't need to save any user rows here. We may need to save some categories, but I guess that's a topic for another. We're going to do that when it comes to that. So let me delete this up to here. I'll leave that as it is, just in case. Record edited successfully. Great. Great. Save. So now that I have saved, I can do a test. Let's hit save. Boom. Okay. Doesn't seem to have done much. Please wait while we upload. Okay. So it seems there is an error. So in order to check for that error, we just have to right click, inspect, and go to the console. Prog is null, and then JSON parse unexpected character. So whenever you see that, just know the result that was returned by the Ajax request doesn't seem to make sense. So let's go back to the edit.php. And wherever there is this handle result, where is this? I want to do a console.log here. So console.log result. That way we see exactly what the result is. Okay. And it says prog is no, but this doesn't seem like a breaking issue because it still continues to this. So let me refresh again. And let's just try to save. We won't even change anything. Let's hit save. Let me refresh. Save. Okay, so it's still... Oh, okay. Sorry, my bad. This is supposed to be console. Okay. Let's hit save. Alright, so we get our error that we want. Back to the console, let me increase that. So the error says undefined variable user on line 18 in edit controller. So edit controller, where is line 18? Right about here. So it doesn't know what user is. Okay, great, I guess. If we go to our models, we don't have a user thingy. Now, the things we are doing here for pages. So we need the page thing here instead. So let me select all instances of this, Control D of user. Actually, let me do user and the dash like that. So I want to change that to page. Okay, cool. But let me go ahead and make sure that in the plugin PHP, we have that actually. So there's controller, and this is where we add all of these. So page is equal to new basic page. So page exists, which means they're ready to receive it over here. So once I do that, that should solve the problem. So let me empty the console. Let me close the console for now and hit save. By the way, let me edit something here. Right, so let me hit save. Please wait. Oh, because I had clicked it before. So let me refresh. Let me add that back and let's hit save. Okay, so we still get some errors. Let's go to the console. Syntax error. Now here it seems the result of our Ajax request was an entire page, which is not what we're supposed to get. So I want to see what the page name is. It's hard to tell sometimes. Okay, let's let that be. All right, so let's confirm that this actually recorded or not, or saved this data, I mean. So if we go to our tables, let's go to pages. And let's look at the actual content. So I'm going to double click in here to try and edit. Okay, so it actually added some new text in there. So things are actually going well. It's just that it's not refreshing the page to show us the progress. And if we check inside here, what we saw was that it was actually bringing up all this HTML back as data. So that should not be the case. So let's look down here and see. Okay, so actually we have some warnings down here, and it's saying warning, failed to open stream or file basic plugin.php basic pages. Fatal error. Okay, so maybe what's happening here is that we're not let's see, the add has a die at the end. Let's make sure that also exists at the end here. Let's put that down there like so. Okay, great. So with that in mind, let us let's see, let's go back and let me click edit again. Okay, so we have that. Let's try and save this time. Okay, so we're still having those problems. Let's go back again and see. Okay, so it's still loading this all this data down here, which it's not supposed to get to the view part at all. Okay, so what I could do here is try to monitor what actually is going on. Let's see here. I know it actually does save. So what I can do is just try to see where we are headed here. So I'm going to do echo and say here like that. That way we can see if it gets to this point. So let me clear the console and let me hit that save button again. Please wait while we upload. Okay, so that's another issue. Let me refresh. Let me delete what's in the console and let me press save. Okay, so let's see if the here is shown here, and it doesn't seem to be shown at all. Okay, so great. So we know it doesn't get to this point at this point. So let me save. Let me make sure it remains at edit here. So instead, let's go back to the plugin itself. Let me go to where is this plugin.php? So what I want to do is when we are in the controller mode, I want to see if it gets to the edit part here. So I'm going to paste over here and let's do die like that. Okay. So we refresh again, empty the console, hit save. Okay, so we get the here there. That's good. So we know it gets to this point. So I'm going to cut that. Let's go back to the edit controller and we're going to go step by step here. I just want to make sure that it's actually the edit controller that we're dealing with. I don't know if we have this over here, which we are supposedly supposed to have. Yeah, we're supposed to have that. So we don't have that either. Okay, 1 second. Form expired. Set value. We are setting a value here. Upload errors. Okay, so maybe that's not the way things should go. We're supposed to echo out info errors like that. So let me copy these two. Let's go back to the edit controller. And at this point, let me see what we do here. We do this right at the end. So let's do that. Now, let me make sure that info is something we've created at the top here. So let me copy all of that. Let's see if that's what we have over here. And we don't actually have that. So let me paste that here like so. Okay. Let me move these together. So that's before this part here. So we have that way we can have something to echo out over here like so. Now page errors here are being dealt with here. So instead of saving them there, I'm going to save this information inside info errors. So I'm going to grab this info errors and actually let me just cut from here. And let's put it over here. So there's array merge that we are dealing with. We're going to remove this, replace it with that, and then remove one of the brackets here. So the resulting merge of these two arrays is saved in their info errors. And then because we're going to JSON encode or convert this array into a string, it's going to be great. We shouldn't even be doing this. Let's see here how we handle the information. So instead, we need these two over here. I'm going to copy that, come back to the edit side. Instead of sending this in a message, and we're redirecting the user as well, which we are not supposed to do because this is an AJAX request. This original code was meant for when you actually post and expect to be redirected. So here we say edited. So success is true because we start as success false. Here it becomes true. And then we give that information like that. So over here, we want to do this again. Record found. Let's put a message in there like so. Great. Errors from expired. Alrighty then, this should actually solve the problem, but let's just confirm. So I'm going to refresh and let's try and save. Record edited successfully, that's great, and it redirects. It's good. So let's make sure we edit something and add a 1 maybe here so that we see if that will save. So let's save. Okay, great. Let's go again and edit to see if we'll find it, and we do. So things are working well here in the edit category. Of course, we're going to deal with the image, but for now, let's deal with the delete. That way we have both the view edit and the like working. Let's click on view. So view has a few errors, but we're going to deal with those in the next video.